So we've been working a little bit on transitions now, and what we see a lot with transitions is people shoot and let it fall back down, shoot, let it fall back down, drive their eyes, move to the next target, shoot, fall back down, shoot, fall back down, drive their eyes, move to the next target. And that is very accurate, but it's also very what? Slow. And that's what we see is we're wasting a lot of time. If the reason we waste time, the idea that was constantly put forth, which wasn't a bad concept at the time, is to have two sight pictures after every shot. But Game Light's changed our terminology and turned it into a sight movie. So if I'm constantly watching, I don't need to watch it come back down and hold on that spot. If I call the shot in advance because I've already lined it up and I recognize it, the moment I'm ready to move, I can just simply guide the gun to the next target. But what it requires you to do is be target focused and open up your vision to a greater degree with the red dot. And guys like Getty and I who shot iron sights for a long time, what we want to do is we want to accommodate back down to that red dot instead of the whole target thing. And he's really good at lining things up. So when we opened up his vision and he could see all three targets, then he could follow the streak of the dot. When he did turn his head and then drive, he wouldn't find the dot until it was too late. So what we're going to do is open up your vision and get rid of the wasted time. But the hard thing for you is it felt like what? Chaos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel out of control because this is very addictive, very controlling. But if you open up your vision, you can do that. So we're going to do one shot on each to make sure he's got the press. And then we'll do two shots on each, just like you do in a Vice Presidente. All right. So let's get this on the timer, make sure we got some data.
Brain scrambler.
Yeah. Now, just let me guide you through it and make life easy. So look at the first one. There you go. All right. Aim in. Now open up your vision so you can see all three targets. You got all three targets? I do. Don't think about moving your eyes. Just put one shot on each. Be ready to go as soon as you press the trigger. Stand by. Outstanding. Back to the holster. Getty is fast. You can probably tell because all the fast people, much like my camera woman and this, they love the SRO. They want to have all that view. But it's funny, he wants to narrow his vision and not use all that view. So what do you think that was? How long for three shots?
1.2?
0.56. That's what we're going to talk about it, all right? 0.56 for three shots. All right? Did it feel real fast?
No.
No. See, and that's where we need a timer because the part of your mind that's the front part is critical and it tells time. As soon as we turn that off with vision, we don't know how fast anything is anymore. So you're a 0.15 on the reaction to the beep. Slow, you know, but you'll get better. All right. And then your transition was a 21 and the next transition was a 20, which may be my better splits, you know. So you're getting 20s across on moving that gun, but did you see a lot? Well, it's pretty good. Now we may have a little variance because we're in efficiency mode. We're not in accuracy mode. So don't go back to accuracy mode. Let's make sure it's efficient. So if we did 56s across and then we add one more shot to that with your splits, we should be able to see you shoot all 6 shots in about a second.
Okay.
All 6 shots in about a second. But now you feel like you got to try, right?
A little bit.
So
Performance.
the key is to open up the vision again. See as much as you can and don't detail focus on one thing. Allow yourself to trace the streak. Did you see the streak?
I did.
Yeah, that's all that matters on it. All right, so 2 on each. And guys, we're leaving the draw out of this because it's not important. We're trying to measure this stuff. Big thanks to AJ Zito and Tim Herron. This is part of their drill. They did a really good job on this. All right, you ready? 2 on each. Vision really open. See as much as you can. Stand by. Very good. Now the first part you could hear was, and then you started to open up. So what do you think that was?
I'd like to say under a second.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. It's a 107.
Okay.
Very close to the prediction. All right. And probably because the first one was a 23 instead of a 15. So if we take that off, it would have been a 99, and you would have lived up to what we expected on it. All right. So just take that off, that part off. 15 on the split, 24 on the transition, 14 on the split, 18 on the transition, 13 on the split.
Wow.
That's really fast. And all you had to do was what? See more. The worst thing you can tell somebody who's fast is to slow down, because then they create an artificial control mechanism that has nothing to do with visual processing. And that artificial control mechanism was letting it stop. The more you see, the better you'll get at this. The more you practice this, you'll begin to trust your intuitive process, and then you'll be a better shooter overall because you know you can do it at a pretty high level. All right. Now, what we eventually have to do is go back to performance mode, and then we'll see how many alphas are hitting, and if we need to do something a little differently. If you need to not drive as fast as you did, or maybe just let it float a little bit more, we'll see what you need to get the alphas. But that'll all come back together in performance mode. So that was well done, man.
Thank you.
Pretty happy with that?
I am.
You want to shoot it again?
I do.
All right, let's do one more. I can tell. He wants the 1 second or under.
Gotta make some room.
Like a squirrel out here connecting all these walnuts, man. Bullets everywhere.
If I could put them in my cheek, I would.
That would be awesome while you're shooting.
Except for the lead.
If you miss, you could just spit them at him.
That's going to be the title of this video, just so you
If
know.
I could put them in my cheek, I would.
This is a little bit more, relaxed. All right, so let's get all the right cueing. Okay, go ahead and aim in. Relax the primary arm. Good. Open the vision. Okay, let the activator go when it's ready. Stand by.
That felt way better.
Yeah, it looked a lot better too. You guys can see it on the camera. What do you think it was?
0.98?
95.
Ah, okay.
95.
I like that.
That's really fast. So let's look at the difference. So like before, he took 0.06 off the first shot. So it was a 19. So he was ready to go this time. The transition was a 14, or the split was a 14. Transition was a 19. The next split was a 15. The next transition was a 15, and the last one was a 13.
Wow.
So very easy to take a faster person. And did you see a lot that?
I saw everything.
Yeah, and you can always tell at the pace of the gun, and you can look at the target, but that's after the fact. You can tell that he was really engaged. Now, did you have to drive your eyes first and then go find the target?
No.
No, because you
No,
could see them all three.
everything.
And listen, guys, self-defenders, personal protection. If you ever had to face multiple opponents, you need to make sure that all three of them are there and that you can see all three of their hands. You can't look at one guy and then look at the next guy and look at the next guy. We've got to make sure all of them. So if he's a bad guy and he's a bad guy, I need to keep an eye because he's hanging out with bad guys too. I need to see all three of them. So this is not just competitive nonsense, right? This is personal protection, and you'll get really good at it. And it allows you to see more sooner, and therefore you can let your own speed manifest. And really all we did was let him go at the pace he really wants to go at. All right, man. Good job, brother.
Thank you, sir.
That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in.